motivate others.
Hi, this is Tasha, the Crafty Kraut. I'm going to show you how to make banana protein. It's a banana protein cake, and I make them in a mini muffin pan, and 4 of these are like 100 calories. So I'm going to show you how to make this. So I'm going to push the camera down so you can see the ingredients. Let's just push this down. Okay. All right. So you're going to need whey protein, and you're going to need 2 little bowls to mix them. You're going to have your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients. So you're going to take 2 scoops of the vanilla whey protein powder. Just like, you know, good scoops. Doesn't have to be like leveled off or anything. So 2 scoops of the vanilla whey, and you're going to need baking soda, salt. What I am going to have to do, and I'll go ahead and do this now, and then I'll come back, is I buy regular oats, and I use a coffee grinder. Let's move this so you can see. And I use a coffee grinder to grind it, and I'll show you what the texture will be like once I grind them. Just gotta be real careful because these coffee grinders, you know, they can be dangerous. So you want to make sure that you have it off or unplugged before you start messing with the blade. So I'm going to pulse it on high, and it calls for a cup of oat flour, but since I'm not going to be able to get this as fine as the one that you buy at the store, I'm going to use a little bit over a cup. Alright, I'll show you how this is. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but it turns out to be just like regular flour. So what I'm going to do now, I just have a measuring cup. Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit over a cup. So that's about, it's a little over a half a cup. It's just a lot less expensive if you buy regular oats and you make the oatmeal or the oat flour yourself. Like a little baggie of oat flour is like $5. Okay, so it's about the way I want it. It should be good. So I'll unplug it. So that's about a cup and then just a little extra. So you don't have to measure it out perfectly. It'll be fine. So you're going to take those 2 ingredients. You're going to mix those up. Let's see. Okay. So I have my. I've got to add my cinnamon. Let's see how much cinnamon I'm going to add. Okay. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. If you have a little more cinnamon, that's fine. I mean, cinnamon's always good. All right, cinnamon, nutmeg. Nutmeg, I'm going to do, I was only supposed to do 1 teaspoon of oh, wait, sorry, that's vanilla. Okay. Nutmeg, 1/8 of a teaspoon. Let's see what we got here. Sorry, I thought I had all my stuff out, but I guess I didn't. So nutmeg, I'm going to do 1/8 of a teaspoon. Okay. And then you want to use your baking soda. Now your baking soda, you want to make sure that you have, you level it off because you don't want too much baking soda. And that's going to be 1/4 of a cup, 1/4 of a teaspoon, sorry. So I just get my teaspoon, and then I just do it over the sink. So you want a level amount of baking soda. Now my salt, I'm going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Let's see, I don't know where my salt shaker is. Okay, sorry. So I need 1/4. I did this wrong. I need 1/4 of salt, and I need 1/2 a teaspoon of baking soda. So I'll have to measure that out. So I need 1/4 of salt, and now I got to make up my difference for baking soda. Let's see, and I'm not good at this, so I'm gonna test it out. I think if I do 1/4 and 1/4. That should be 1/2, right? Yeah, okay. So I'll do one more. It's 1/2 of baking soda, not 1/4. So you want to make sure you have that right. That's kind of critical. So, okay, so I did 1/4, so I'll do 1/4 more. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure this is mixed up really good, because you don't want, you want the baking soda to get all over. You want to make sure it's incorporated really good, so just mix that up really good. Alrighty. And now you're going to need 2 baby jars of bananas. 2 4-ounce jars of banana. This is not usually the brand that I get, but it's the only brand that this store has. And then you're going to use 2 baby jars of banana, and then you're going to use one jar of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I get all my banana out of here. Make sure I get all my banana stuff out of here. Now this is your wet ingredients, so you want this is in a separate bowl. So your 2 cans of baby food, 4 ounces of water, which is a can of, or a jar of baby food size. So I'm gonna pour this into here. That way I can get all the good stuff out of here. You want all that banana in here. Alright. So that should be good. Okay. Now I'm going to do my eggs. I need 4 egg whites. And for your sweetener, I use this 1/2 and 1/2. It's regular sugar stevia blend, and it calls, I do about 1/4, but I'm going to do a little bit less because sometimes it has a weird, if you cook too much with it, it kind of has a bitter, so it's a little bitter. So I'm going to do, it calls for 1/4, or my conversion calls for 1/4. So I'm not going to do quite 1/4 cup of this. And you're going to put this in, yeah, okay. So 1/4 of your sweetener. And you can use agave nectar or whatever you want. You don't have to use this blend. You can use pure sugar. They got all kinds of artificial, or not artificial, but substitute sugars. You could use honey if you wanted to. I haven't. You could probably even just use applesauce. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my egg. I need 4 egg whites. So do my egg whites, separate them. If you have another way of separating eggs, just separate them however you do best. I heard somewhere that if you put the egg in water and let the egg warm up a little bit, like if you're doing a cake, I don't have a lot of shell here. If you're doing a cake, it will help your cake rise evenly. I'll probably try that next time I make a cake, but I don't. These little mini muffins will rise just fine. And make sure you don't get any eggshell in there. It's actually a really easy recipe. It's easy, it's healthy, and they're actually really good. You can add nuts if you want. I usually don't. It's just, I rather have nuts as a separate little snack. This is really good for breakfast with coffee. It's like you're eating a banana nut bread without the nuts. For breakfast with your coffee. So, all right, so I got that. So now I'm going to mix this mixture up real good. The eggs. You're going to preheat your oven on 350, and you're going to have to kind of just figure it out on your own how long it has to bake for. If you do it in a 8 by 8, I think it is, a square pan, it's going to take longer. It's going to probably take about 25-30 minutes. But I do mine in my little mini muffin pans, and it takes about 10-15 minutes. It just depends. You got to keep an eye on it. All right. Hopefully this video is not going to be too long, but you don't really have to overmix it. Just try to get everything off the sides. Just want to make sure I get all my moisture out of here. So you just dump it in there. I'm going to make sure I get everything off of the sides and bottom. And then I scoop, if you're doing a regular cupcake, at cupcake size, which you can also do, if you use a ice cream scooper, that is a perfect, 1 scoop is a perfect cupcake. But I am using a mini pan, so I will use a little mini scooper, or they're cookie scoopers. It's a perfect cookie size. Okay, so somehow my pan got wet. You want to make sure your pan is not wet. I was just actually on the computer and had the urge to bake something, so I figured I'd bake these and go ahead and video them. I got there's a carrot recipe on bodybuilding.com that I used to make a lot, but I prefer the banana, so that's a little runny. Alright, so I'm not going to use quite a scoop full of this scooper here. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I am. I'm going to use a whole scoop. The larger mini muffin pans, the ones that do like 24 at a time, they're not as big as this one. They're even smaller than, they're like a super mini cupcake. So, fill these up. And then you're going to put them in the oven. Let them bake. I use the toothpick thing, you know, I stick my toothpick in it, make sure in the center one, make sure it's cooked through, and then once they're cool, I'll turn them out onto a plate, And once they're cool, I put them in a Ziploc baggie, and I put them in the refrigerator because there's really no preservatives in there. So I put them in the refrigerator, and then I eat, you know, between 2 and 4 of them as a snack whenever I feel like I want something to snack on, like cake. Which who doesn't want cake? Okay, so here we go. So here are the mini muffins. You can wipe off the top of your pan if you got spray on it. It makes it easier to clean after you're finished, but I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I throw it into the dishwasher or I just clean it. It's not that big of a deal. But, so you just clean it off a little bit. Now I'm going to stick these in, and it's probably going to take about, I would say about 15 minutes. So I'm going to do each batch for, I'll check it in 15. And then you just got to kind of do it depending on your oven. So I would do it lower increments. I would start at 10 and kind of check them and see how they go, and then just do little by little, because you can always cook them more. You can't cook them less once they're cooked. So hope you enjoy this. I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Okay, so I decided to make the mini ones too, because it's kind of late and I didn't feel like doing 3 or 4 of these. So anyway, so here are my little muffins. Let's put one on the plate. Well, I gotta get a knife, but anyways. Here we go. Here's a little guy. They're really good. You can eat little one. These little tiny ones, you could probably eat 5 of them, 5 or 6 of them. But these you can eat for about 100 calories. So I hope you enjoy. They're really good. You should try it. The carrot ones are good. I'm just more of a banana person than carrots. Thanks for watching.